We're covering some AQ World Infinity news in this video. Let's get going. Monday and Tuesday, Ghost and Nulgath sent in their animations for the Healer and Rogue classes. Animated GIFs coming below. Meanwhile, Warlock restructured the repository and improved the way we upload and define monsters and NPCs. That change was extremely important for Tunic's dialogue cutscene editor. Taking names. We had a problem with animations and Tunic did something brilliant. In Unity, it is not currently possible to load something and then simply get a list of all its animation stats. States. That is a fancy word for animation names like run, attack, death, dance. So Tunic took a script that grabs the names of the monsters, NPCs, animation states, when the dev is building it and stores it in a list. Then the dialogue system can look at that list to play a valid animation. All monsters and NPCs now do this. Note, I have not personally tested it, but that is my understanding. And kicking axe. Meanwhile, Hiromi fixed the color issues with character creations and also moderation tools like mute, kick, and ban. Next up, class previews. Back to class animations. Rogue goes stabby, stabby, stabby. That is pretty funny. And this is the image of the backstab. Him jumping up and slamming down. Very, very cool. Backstab. This is my favorite of the animations Ghost put in. The official name of the skill is Opportunity Strike, but I sort of think we should rename it to Backstab. Technically, since you are jumping so high in the air, you could theoretically come down behind them. Lights. Virtual camera. Action. Nulgath sent in healer animations like the fantastic one above. As seen in the GIF, animations are done in this template character named Mrs. Girl. Animations and spell effects are separate, so in the above GIF, you see this spell effect. Here is an example of player animation. When you perform a skill, the two are combined, producing a beautiful 60 frames per second result. Heartbeat. Heartbeat is a healer skill that was challenging to make a visual for, so there will be an effect on both the player and the monster. That looks really nice though. Classic heal. All the players of AQ Worlds can actually hear this GIF. Indecisive monster? The monster in the GIF above cannot figure out which side it wants to attack me from, but why? Remember how we added the footprint to monsters and players and NPCs about a month ago? Well, something's definitely broke as a result. When you attack a monster or are attacked by a monster, the monster's AI will move it to the edge of your footprint. This is the proper fighting range. We used to use shadow, but the footprint is invisible and far better for correctly placing things. If you study the GIF above, you'll notice that the center of the monster's shadow is moving to the right and left edges of my shadow. That means that it cannot find the footprint and is defaulting back to the old behavior. This issue will likely be fixed before I sync with the team in the morning, but when working on combat, bugs like this are spooky. Wednesday, Rogue skill, Stiletto. For this skill, your hero reaches into hammer space and pulls a trio of throwing daggers. This is a ranged attack that can be used at any range. You may have noticed that the actual projectile for the daggers is missing. We're working on it. But you can see him getting ready and throwing the thing, so it looks pretty cool. And then get them the light bird. Healer's primary attack sends forth an angelic falcon to cleanse your target in majestic light. I like how this attack is distinguished from the mage clash, which fires a cluster of magic missiles. This impact effects need to be a burst. I'm pretty sure that is in the works. Here's Artix going rogue, and you can see his hair has aged considerably. New warrior auto attack animations by Nulgath. Ooh, look at that slam down. That's cool. Big trouble. Infinity has a built-in monster scale function. I think it talked about this before. Devs can change the size of monsters in the game, which means we'll never need to duplicate a monster just to create a bigger version ever again. You can see how big this Gorillafont is. He's fighting him with his rogue abilities. And there's the concealed thing. My favorite rogue skill is Stiletto, where you draw 3 daggers out of hammer space and throw them at your foe. It makes a good opener to pull with at a range. The GIF above was recorded before the projectile was added, but I think you see the projectile in the GIF with the Gorillafont. I used the skills towards the end of the clip. Oh, I didn't see that. So you can see where he grabs out the... Oh, I did see the projectile actually just towards the end. Cool. Rogue skills. Also, you can see the rogue class doing a number of new animations that Ghost created. Eep. We are still using the old icons. Need to fix that for all the base classes ASAP. J6 already made the icons. So there's the sound effects. Got the sound effects thing. This is their loadout. Normalized time, minimized and maximized pitch. You get your previous node player animations, priority and the speed of it. The aura effect, the target duration, intervals and refresh. The player animations, priority, interrupt all, speed 1, and then conditional range. This is the whole setup thing. Conditional range is a game changer. Spider has been adding a lot of new features to the skill forge. The new conditional range node is amazing. Skills can now do completely different things at different ranges. For example, if you use the rogue's footwork still at a distance, it will simply give you the buff. However, if you use it at close range, you'll do jump kick your foe in the face with your foot. Because as a karate orc often says, that is how foot work. That is so funny. And here's the voice chat. So you have some people in the first one and some in the second. What is it like to work with devs scattered between Tampa, Texas, California, and Canada? We live in Discord voice chat, sharing our screens. This method of working is closer to our roots. When the original Adventure Quest started soaring, we formed a team from helpful and skilled players in the community. Some of the originals, including Oshi and Captain Rhubarb. Back in those days, we did not have a voice chat. We communicated using IRC, an ancient technology on par with connecting two cans by a string or sending smoke signals. You could not even send images through IRC. So we chatted through text and uploaded stuff to the server to show each other. All of that changed in 2005-ish with things like MSN Messenger and Skype. Even when we started working in a physical office, we still used these tools to talk to people literally sitting right next to us and send files. The vast majority of our devs and mods have always been remote. Captain Rhubarb, for example, lives on the other side of the country. I've seen him in person 4 times. Pretty crazy, right? But this is internet culture. We can live anywhere and do the things we do. It is why I've never made returning to the lab mandatory. A lot of companies did. I could do a lengthy TED talk on the remote versus in-office culture, but here's a short version. Some people work better remotely, others not so much. Personal bonds are easy to form in the office, but that is equally true with drama. It's sort of spooky how little drama we had in a while. Knocks on wood, which is better. Personally, I like a little of both. So I met up with Zoom and Dage to sync in the mornings and then schedule work days with people in person like I did yesterday. As a night person, I prefer working late at night. A lot of us do. How about you? Anyway, since the start of the pandemic, our lives have been spent in Discord voice and video calls. It is nice. Healing and Keeling, Nulgath's new healer class skill animations are almost ready. The goal was to make it unique, bright, and usable as both a base class and a support healing class. The impact effects with the bright wings is currently being placed too high. Spider's adding a drop down to the node that determines where an impact effect goes. This will allow us to place it at the monster's feet, hit attach points, and even on top of it where the pop-up bubbles go. It feels fun to play. Work Frenzy and Plan. Today, we're reviewing all 4 base classes again. They're waiting for me to finish up this post. Thinking we could do a tech demo just for the 4 base classes as soon as possible, especially with all these new combat nodes we're adding. We have made a lot of changes since the last tech demo. If we get everything in the end of the day Friday, please note the if, then we should be able to do the next tech demo early next week. Cross your fingers, claws, talons, or tentacles for us. And that would be in reference to this week. So it's possible we might get a tech demo at some point this week, but it's not written in stone, so we'll have to wait and see. But we've got some pretty good progress on this. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Keep those swords swinging.